Got one from Emil. Says, I lost my first competition recently, and I see my L on both of my competitors' social media. Got armbarred and guillotined and sub only. Good to use this as motivation to improve, or could it be bad? So here's one for you. So
good story. I think it.
Yeah, I got a good story for you. So you got submitted. It's okay. It happens. You know what? On one of my, it wasn't even a smartphone. It was an old flip phone. I remember back in 2007, I got submitted by a guy by a guillotine. I mean, I remember. Let me put a little spice on this story. So it was an invite tournament for money, and there was two guys from our gym that went into this thing. There was me on one side of the bracket. And then the other guy was okay. He was a good wrestler, and it was like, okay, jiu-jitsu, but he's a good wrestler. And but he didn't take jiu-jitsu seriously. He wasn't really into it. Me, though, like, I love it. I love jiu-jitsu and whatever. And so we're on opposite in the bracket. Now, people were expecting me to do pretty well. First match, I go against this guy. I get guillotine choked. I'm like, pissed, right? Now, my friend who didn't take jiu-jitsu seriously, was a better wrestler than me, and he knew how to play the points game and everything else. He ended up winning the thing. Mm-hmm. I was so jealous. I was so angry because I was just like, you don't even care about this stuff, and you're just killing it. And then me over here, I love this stuff, and I didn't even make it out of the first damn round. Mm-hmm. And I was so frustrated with it. And I remember I took the picture of me losing, and I took it and I put it on my phone. And I looked at that picture every single day. Every time I flipped my phone up, I would see the picture of me getting choked out. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to remember that feeling, because I didn't like it. And I didn't want it to be, and again, it's not me, right? It's just something that happened to me. It's not who I am. But at the same time, I wanted to remember that sting. So that's why I would push myself harder in training. I would be more dedicated. I would work on my wrestling. I would do all the things I knew I needed to do in order to improve. And so with you, man, those L's don't feel good, right? But again, that's really what defines champions, right? It's not about how things are going when you're winning, because that's easy. When you're winning, everything's good. It's like, how do you respond when things suck? How do you respond when you're losing? How do you respond when you make mistakes? Those are the things that are changing, and it's the way that you respond to those that really determine everything. And so, yeah, I would save those pictures. I'd save them. Take those pictures of you getting guillotined, put them on your phone. Take a look at them every now and then, just to remind yourself of the sting, right? Make sure that you work on those escapes. Make sure you work on the defenses to those things. Like, really do the work that needs to be done. If you slacked off with your cardio or whatever before that competition, make sure that doesn't happen again. Do whatever you know you need to do to improve for the next one. But remember that, like, don't let those, because here's the thing. A lot of times people want to take all the stuff, all their experiences, all the negative stuff, and they want to put that stuff behind them, right? That's what people will say to you. They'll say, man, just put that behind you, as if to like forget about it. But it's all that stuff that's behind you that really, that's where some of the best stuff you got. That's what that makes who you are. So for instance, for me, the way I think about it, imagine a road. You're traveling down this road. It's a good idea every now and then to go back and look over that road to see what's sticking out. Because when you look over it, you'll find things there sticking out. And those are the lessons to be learned. Those are the things, the resources for the future. Those are the things that you need going in. And for you, you don't want to forget about the match. You don't want to erase it. You want to remember it. You want to remember that you got beat at this competition, and this way you can fix it. And so I would say, instead of trying to don't be angry at them for posting on their social media, by the way, because you'd probably do the same thing. Just take the picture, save it, have it on your phone, put it in, you can make a photo album in your phone, and put it as inspiration, and look through those photos from time to time, and remember that you got beat, and remember the sting that was associated with it. Remember what it felt like to be standing there with the other person getting their hand raised, and then train your butt off and get better for the next one. That's what I'd tell you.
Yeah. I think one of my best performances came after some terrible losses.
Oh, yeah.
It was just such a great motivator. It stings. It stings, and it's painful. And if you love jiu-jitsu or you care about what you're doing and it's important to you, it's going to sting. It's just going to.
Sure.
And then, and plus, I think you said you're a white belt first comp, so, I mean.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is the earlier you are in your competition sort of career, the more it hurts, man. Because it's almost like it's like in life, right? Anytime it's the first thing that it happens, it's always a big deal, right? So for instance, if you everybody remembers their first relationship that went south, it's the biggest deal in the world, right? It's like, your first love breaks up with you, your first girlfriend cheats on you or something, or whatever. Like it's the biggest
end of the
deal.
world.
Yeah. And then later on you get older and you're like, whatever. Stuff happens. It's the way this works, you know? And that's just most of the things in life. Like, you know, the first time it happens, it's a big deal. Or even the first couple times it happens, a big deal. But as you get older, you just kind of realize that's just part of it, you know? And, you know, seasoned competitors, as they get older, nobody likes losing, right? Like, if I get beat, I don't like losing. But it doesn't have that same sting that it did when I was younger. But again, if you have that sting, it's negative emotions are a powerful thing. Don't let anybody fool you, right? Because there's all that like self-help guru garbage out there that's like, just think positive, you know, that kind of stuff. If you listen to a lot of really successful people, if you go read through a lot of biographies of really successful people, you'll find that a lot of times there's a negative emotion-based motivator somewhere in there, right? Like, you know, one of them that I used to listen to several years ago that was like part of my morning routine when I would like wake up real early and want to get myself motivized. You ever seen that Charlie Murphy skit?
Was it on
Dave Chappelle show? Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Motivized. Anyway, was that Rock talk where he was talking about just like remembering being broke, remembering being a kid and seeing all this stuff going on and then being like, all right, I'm going to go forward. You know? And so again, use that as motivator. Like the negative stuff's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you consider yourself, like for instance, it's only a bad thing if you identify with it. If you look at it and say, I suck, whatever, this kind of stuff, that kind of like self-pity garbage, then it's a problem. But if you look at it and say, you know what, I got choked, but it ain't going to happen again. I got choked, but I'm going to get better from this. The way that you perceive that and the story that you tell yourself can make the difference between how you react to this thing. And so, again, use that negative sting that you got from the competition and push forward. Long tangent. That was a good one.